Howdy, partners. How you doing? Gonna be doing a quick video on the Xbox E3 briefing that's coming up on Sunday, June the 11th. I'm gonna be doing my predictions. Let's see what they got for us, or let's see what I think they have in store for us. Alright, boys and girls, it's that time of the year again. E3 is upon us. It's right around the corner here. The Xbox E3 press briefing is on June the 11th. And I wanted to give my predictions, that briefing that's coming up. So first of all, what are we going to see from the Scorpio? Well, you're going to see everything from the Scorpio. They're going to reveal everything from the name, the price, the date, and maybe some launch games. And I'm going to predict all that. And plus, I'm going to predict what else we might see and dates we might see some of these games launching. First of all, I think the system itself will be called Xbox One X. And the reason behind that is because I think they're going to stick with the Xbox One branding. They're not going to completely go to a different name. They're not going to call it the Xbox 4. The system is going to be a family of systems. So they're going to stick with the name. And for me, this one's very hard to predict. Obviously, it's hard to predict the name of a system. You got the Xbox One regular. You got the Xbox One S. So if you added a letter to the end of the Xbox One, if you added another letter, what's that letter going to be? Z, B, G, D, L, O, N, O, P? No, it's probably going to be X. Super hard to predict that, but that's what I'm going to go with. We're going to go with the Xbox One X for the system name. So you're like, okay, how much is this Xbox One X going to cost me? Well, it's a premium product. It's a premium console. It is the most powerful console on the market. It's not going to be cheap. They're going to start it out at $499. $499 US dollars will be the price. Again, that's not a sweet spot at all for a gaming console, but you know, they're going to get the hardcore people in there. The hardware is there. There's a reason it's a premium console. It has the specs. It has, it's got what you need. It's got 12 gigabytes of GDDR5. It has the 4K HD Blu-ray player. It's 6 teraflops, pretty much custom all around the board. If you guys have checked out if you haven't checked out the Digital Foundry breakdown of Scorpio, I would recommend doing that, or the Xbox One X. But we'll just call it Scorpio for now. We'll keep calling it Scorpio, so you're following me here, so you know what I'm talking about, because that's not the official name yet. But anyways, yes, I think $499 will be the price. Obviously, not the sweet spot to sell a ton of consoles. That would be $399 for a brand new console that's touted as the most powerful console ever created. But again, this one's going to sell to the hardcore right away, and they'll get that money. They'll get the money from the hardcore. If they have to bring it down in price within, 6 months to a year, so be it. They need to make the money back on what they're putting into the system. So right away, $499, premium console. You got to factor in that they sell a controller. That's $150, right? $150 controller. The Xbox One Elite controller. It's an expensive controller. It's a very awesome controller. Very, very awesome. It's a premium piece of hardware. $499. So you're going to say, well, hey, when's the system launching? That's another one. That's a really hard one to predict as well. Everything's pointing towards the holiday season. So, my best estimation, and I think a perfect date, and a date they've used before, this was the launch of the original Xbox, was November 15th. So I think it's going to come out on November 15th, 2017. It gives them plenty of time to work out all the little kinks. And there'll be a ton of games out, obviously, that have previously come out. And it's going to be before a couple big games like Star Wars Battlefront. And I think they're going to have a couple launch games, dedicated to that day. They're not going to put all their eggs in the basket. Why would they do that? They want to come out with some games, before that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think they're going to have a couple games ready for that date and going to launch on the Scorpio. Obviously, these games are playable on your Xbox One, so every game you get through the fall up until the holiday season. If you buy those games, you'll be able to play them on your Scorpio. So that's not a big deal. I mean, obviously, if they could bring this system out before like Destiny launches and stuff like that, great. You could get the best versions of all those games. But you're gonna buy them anyways. If you already have an Xbox, you're gonna buy them and you'll be able to play them on your better hardware. No additional cost. Once you buy the game on Xbox One, it's there for this system as well. You know, it's not like you have to buy an additional time to play it on your Xbox Scorpio. That one purchase carries across Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One, Xbox Scorpio, and sometimes the Play Anywhere games, PC games. Across all that, you buy it one time and you can play it on all the different family of devices. But I'm going to go with November 15th. I think that's the date, man. Another date to watch out for is November 22nd. Obviously, that was the launch of Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. But I think they're going back to November 15th, get an extra week before the Black Friday instead of the Black Friday week. So, November 15th, mark it down. That's when I believe it's coming out. And I think it's going to launch with 2 games. Those games are Crackdown 3. We haven't heard a lot about Crackdown in a while. It's kind of absent for I think last year's E3. It was pretty much absent. But I think we're getting Crackdown 3 for the launch of the Scorpio, and I think we're going to get State of Decay 2 for the launch of the Scorpio on November 15th, 2017. I think we'll get those 2 games. They don't need to put all their eggs in the basket. They don't need to come out with Forza and Crackdown and State of Decay and Sea of Thieves all on the same day. What's the point of that? But they need a couple. They need a couple hits to come out with. Crackdown 3, Crackdown 1 and 2, really fun games, especially Crackdown 1. Awesome game. Hopefully they can make that magic again for Crackdown 3. And State of Decay, if you've never played the original State of Decay, go check that game out. It's kind of a little rough around the edges, but man, you can see the potential with something like that. And I'm highly anticipated for State of Decay 2. Highly. It's got a lot of potential. A ton of potential. So what else I'm thinking here for the briefing? Stay with me here. I think we're going to get Mech Assault 3 reveal. We haven't seen a Mech Assault game in a while. I could imagine a Mech Assault game with like total destruction. Awesome looking mechs in 4K. I think that would really take advantage of the power of the Xbox Scorpio. A Mech Assault. And we need a Mech Assault. An online, just smash them up, blow up buildings, blow up mechs type of game. I think it's cool. I'm all for that one. Alright, I think we're going to get at least 2. It's tough to predict, but I think we're going to get at least 2 AAA IPs announced. Have no idea what they are. I mean, I don't know. Have no idea. I just think we're going to get some new IPs announced. Not sure the release of those. I mean, potentially one could sneak in at the end of the year, but I feel like that kind of would have been mentioned a little bit beforehand. It's hard to say, hey, they're going to sneak in a game at the very end here, a new IP, and then like surprise us all, since these games are playable, across all systems. All these games will be playable on your Xbox One original, Xbox One S, and then the Xbox Scorpio. So why would they hold back games and not tell you about games that are coming out? They want you to buy the system, right? At the end of the day, they want you to buy the system. Why would they hold something like that so close to the vest? I don't think they would. Hell, you never know. But I just think, if we're going to see new IPs, they're not coming out for, a year or 2 down the road. So as far as game launch dates, obviously Forza 7 hasn't been announced, but it will be. And they're not going to hold it back for the Scorpio. It's going to come out in September. They're going to do the September launch with Forza. That's going to come out in September, I believe. Let's go back a month. I think Cuphead will be in August. I think Forza 7 will be in September. And I think Sea of Thieves will be October. They'll have some Minecraft stuff. They'll be running Minecraft on the Scorpio with new features, new worlds, 4K Minecraft. Makes sense. You get the Halo 6 tease. To break it down, you're going to get your games on your Xbox One. You're going to be able to play Cuphead, Forza, Sea of Thieves, and then they'll hold off for Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2 for the launch of the Scorpio. That's what I believe. Obviously, this thing runs for what, 90 minutes? These conferences. I'll be there. I'll be down there. I can't wait, man. I'm super fucking excited to be down there. Love going out to these things. It's like a rock show, man. It's really, really cool. The atmosphere is awesome, and I'm really excited to see them launching a new system and being down there. So, dude, I'm super stoked for this. Obviously, I wish I could say everything I'm saying here is definitively gonna happen, but I'm just speculating. I've got my reasons behind this stuff, some of this stuff, and I'm just kind of predicting off basically common sense in most cases. Obviously, that doesn't always work, but for me, it's always the best way, to lean on something like this is to predict from maybe what's happened in the past and to see what's going on in the industry today, and then kind of combine the two and then be like, all right, I think this is going to happen. It's not too out of the question. So what else could we see at the conference? They might have more Xbox Design Lab choices. I think that could be a thing. Obviously for the Scorpio, they don't need a new controller. They're going to use the old controllers. The UI is probably going to stay the same, so they don't need to work on that. All they really need to do is focus on the hardware and then have a few launch games for it. It would be nice if we had a new IP or something, you're going to say, most people are going to say, well, Crackdown 3 and State of Decay 2 aren't big name games. But they both have a lot of potential to be really good, and there's no reason they should hold back like, hey, we're going to have 15 games for this launch. When these games are playable on, the family of consoles already, you're not going to sit there and want to wait. I'm not going to say, hey, September, August, October coming around, let's just hold off all these games for the Scorpio. I don't think anybody wants that. So give us the Forza, give us the Sea of Thieves, and then come out with the Crackdown 3 and State of Decay 2 on the launch of the system. That would be cool. Hopefully those take full advantage of the power of the system. The only other thing I could change maybe there is Crackdown 3 and State of Decay 2, maybe Sea of Thieves mixed in there too as a launch, or mixed out. Maybe like State of Decay in October and Sea of Thieves during the launch. But I'm gonna stick to my original prediction. I'm just giving you another alternate way it could happen, because I don't see them holding 3 games. I see 2 games. It's hard to predict. Is Sea of Thieves gonna be one? It could be, but I think that's gonna be October. I broke that down. I think that's pretty good predictions. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. E3! E3, baby!